Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new 2017 Ridgeline, our newest vehicle and their newest fan. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome to Rogers Center. It is the last Friday Fan Festival of the year. Beautiful evening here with the roof wide open. 29 degrees at the start of play, and the former Blue Jay, the skipper of the Minnesota Twins, and the Hall of Famer, Paul Molitor, back in town. And we had a chance to catch up with Paul. We'll pass along some of those stories as the game unfolds. He has had a tough season, obviously, with the Minnesota Twins, 49-78. They're in last place. Let's take a look at the lineup for Molitor's Minnesota Twins. Right at the top of the order, their hottest hitter is Brian Dozier. Over his last 32 games, he's hitting .336 with 28 extra base hits. He has 30 home runs for the season, one of the true power threats in this lineup. And then Eduardo Escobar at third base over his last 8 games has 9 hits, 3 RBIs, and a couple of walks. The offense has really been challenged this year for the Twins.
That is the lineup that Francisco Liriano will face. Francisco gets ready for his 25th start of the season and 4th with the Blue Jays. He really deserved better in this last start. He allowed 1 unearned run in 6 innings versus Cleveland, but he picked up a no decision after the Indians rallied for 2 runs in the 9th inning. This is his 5th start against his former team, the Minnesota Twins. Liriano pitched for Minnesota from 2005 through 2012. In his career, he's 2-1 in those 4 starts versus the Twins with an ERA of about 5.5. They need a big start from him tonight.
They sure do to get this series off on the right foot. The Blue Jays, of course, lost 2 of 3 to the Angels, thanks to Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. Now you've got to focus on this man, Brian Dozier, who's a home run threat, 30 home runs this season. First pitch of the game is in there for a strike, and we are underway. They expect another big crowd here tonight at Rogers Center, and the fans have flocked to this building to watch their favorite team.
I think Dozier is the key to this Minnesota offense. When the Blue Jays took 3 out of 4 from Minnesota back in May, when they were in Minnesota, they held this guy down. Just 1 for 16 in that 4-game series, but he comes into this one hot as anybody in baseball.
Yeah, he was really struggling early on, and he was trying to manufacture power. Remember how he was trying to lift everything, but his numbers are different over the last 8 games, batting .324. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, foul.
He's still trying to lift everything out of the ballpark. You notice those 30 home runs for a second baseman. Early on, they were pitching him off-speed stuff, and he was just out in front of a lot of fly balls to center field. Lately, though, wow.
There's a fly ball to center field. Darwin Barney out. The second baseman makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. Now let's take a look at the defense behind Francisco Liriano. Barney is back at second base, filling in for Devin Travis, Carrera, Upton, and Bautista. Kevin Pillar was a late scratch. We'll tell you why in a bit. Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Barney, and Smoke. Smoke making the first start since August 19th over at first, and Russell Martin doing the catching for his former Pirate teammate.
And there's a good sign. Jose Bautista in right field. His last start out there, August the 9th versus Tampa Bay. That's when Jose got hurt. When he tried to flip the ball in, hurt his knee. He's played 81 games this year. A couple of injuries, a couple of stints on the disabled list, so it's good to see Jose out in the outfield again.
Good changeup from Liriano. He's quickly ahead of Robbie Grossman, 0-2. Grossman's a switch hitter. He has bounced around a bit. We saw him a couple years ago with the Houston Astros. They picked him up from Cleveland's AAA team this year. He started out in Columbus.
That was right around the time the Blue Jays were playing the Twins in May.
They picked him up May 16th, and the Blue Jays were in there on the 19th.
And he came in. He was the only guy who could hit in that 4-game series for him.
Got a mini hitting streak going right now. Liriano's really excited about his opportunity here with the Blue Jays. As we mentioned, this is his 4th start, and Grossman reaches for that pitch down and away. Talk about the value of that four-seam fastball and what it does during the course of an at-bat.
Well, you know what it does? First of all, it puts on a lot of pressure on the hitter to swing early in the count. The Minnesota Twins do not swing at a lot of first pitches. In fact, they have the second fewest at-bats swinging at the first pitch. So if you can get ahead with the four-seamer, that looked like a pretty good pitch right there. You do that, then everything else plays off of that. The great slider that he has, the changeup that can go down and away to right-handers. He also has been able to use it up in the strike zone, the four-seam fastball. There's one right there.
Little extra velocity at 94. But he's always had great stuff. He's always had an explosive fastball, slider, and a very good changeup. But now if he can throw that four-seam fastball early in the count.
There it is right there. Right across the four seams. Your index finger or your middle finger creating those four seams on the horseshoe of the baseball. It helps the ball to create backspin, and you can control it better.
Foul tip right off the chest protector of Russell Martin. That was the slider. They were going backdoor with it. We mentioned Liriano spent 7 seasons with the Minnesota Twins. He came up for the first time in 2005. He went 50 and 52 over his time with the Twins. Changeup. Grossman foul tipped it. Martin held on for the strikeout. 2 away now.
His changeup acts almost like a screwball where he gets on top of it and spins the ball off and watch the ball go away. Almost like a left-handed screwball. You see how that ball dove away from the right-hander? So on top of taking a little something off of the pitch, he's also got good movement on it. That's why he picks up a lot of strikeouts, averaging a strikeout an inning.
So Liriano retires the first 2 tonight. Trevor Plouffe has a couple of home runs against Liriano. Last time he faced him pitching for the Pirates last season. He and Dozier both homered in the same game as Minnesota beat Liriano and the Pirates. That ball got away from him as he really came out of his delivery.
No Joe Mauer tonight, the great hitter for the Minnesota Twins. He's been nursing a leg injury. And not in the lineup again. That's always good.
That's good for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Not so good for Paul Molitor and the Twins. And there's the skipper who enjoyed so many great moments here playing with the Blue Jays in World Series. That ball is hit out of here as Plouffe got a 2-1 pitch and hits his 3rd career home run off of Francisco Liriano.
He came into this game 3 for 5 in his career, 600 average, a couple of those home runs. He got that four-seam fastball, and that one was right over the middle of the plate. Really the only guy who's had good numbers against Francisco Liriano in his career is this man right here, Plouffe, and he shows you why. 8th home run of the season for Plouffe, and it's a line drive right over the middle of the plate with that pitch.
Looked like it might have been a 2-seam fastball. It just didn't sink. Stayed up about thigh high. This is Miguel Sano. Sano is the DH tonight, batting .244 with 20 homers. Little ground ball towards second. Barney quickly to first. The inning is over, but Minnesota gets a 2-out home run from Trevor Plouffe and takes a 1-0 lead. Bautista, top of the order. He's got good numbers against the Minnesota Twins, as you see. 24 home runs, 42 RBIs in just 53 games. Bautista's absolutely killed the Twins. And then Encarnacion, a 5-game hit streak, batting .389 with a pair of doubles and a home run. They're set to take on the lefty, Pat Dean.
He's replacing Hector Santiago, who is out with a bruised thumb. This will be his 7th start of his career and his 12th appearance. You can see just 11 games this year, 1-3 with a .548 earned run average. First start since being recalled from AAA on August the 12th. Blue Jays know all about him. He made his first major league start versus the Blue Jays back on May the 21st. Twins won. That was the only win in the series back in Minnesota. The loser that day, Jay Happ. He beat Jay.
Bautista takes the first pitch, strike. Now it's 1-1. Jose made his return to the lineup last night as the DH. He had a good night, had a couple of RBIs, had a double. 1 for 4 overall. There's nothing like a Twins uniform that brings out the best in Jose Bautista, that's for sure.
He has put on a show against Minnesota in his career, especially there. He has made Target Field his own personal playground.
3-1 now to Bautista.
Dean did something a little bit different than what the Blue Jays were expecting when they saw him back in May. He's not afraid to pitch inside, as you can see right here. Bautista makes him move his feet, and Jose's got to go down to one knee. But in that start in Minnesota, the scouting report had him, hey, he's going to throw inside, but he used his fastball a lot away to these righties and then threw his cutter and his slider inside. So there was some confusion against this guy. He had 5 strikeouts in 6 innings. Let's see if he pitches inside a little bit more tonight.
Historically, the Blue Jays haven't fared well against a pitcher they don't know much about. 3-2 pitch, ball 4. Bautista's on base. Well, defensively, it has been a disappointing season for the Twins. They've committed the 2nd most errors in baseball. They've committed 96 errors this season. Bobby Grossman's in left, Eddie Rosario in center, and Max Kepler in right field. A good-looking young player. Escobar, Polanco, Dozier, and Plouffe around the infield. And the veteran Kurt Suzuki doing the catching tonight for the lefty Pat Dean.
And there's no problem with that second baseman. Brian Dozier has committed 7 errors, and he plays just about every day. The last time he didn't play, had to go all the way back to May the 25th. This guy wasn't penciled into the lineup for the Twins.
Josh Donaldson takes the first pitch inside, and JD hit a bullet into the WestJet flight deck last night in the 5th inning. His 29th home run of the season.
He is showing some signs of snapping out of it. Just hasn't been that consistent lately, but he's showing some signs.
Well, the one thing about the Blue Jays, and we've talked about a little bit earlier, how explosive their lineup is. There's so many hitters that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. I don't care who's pitching. And Donaldson's done a great job, even though the numbers over his last 15 games aren't good. But he's still not chasing borderline pitches. So he will pass the baton to Edwin, get on base, and he continues to score a lot of runs.
He's taking a share of walks, like you said. You're right, and he's having some good at bats, but it hasn't been as consistent as we have seen it. Having him, get him started, get him starting to swing like we know he can, it's going to go a long way.
John Gibbons believes that Josh Donaldson is the key. When teams keep Donaldson off the bases, it seems as though the Blue Jays are shut down somewhat offensively. He really kind of makes things happen. He has scored 99 runs. He's tied with Mookie Betts for the lead in the American League. This is a high fly ball to left, long run for Grossman. He gets there, and Donaldson's retired. Well, we mentioned the news about Dioner Navarro. We heard it right at the top of the hour that Dioner Navarro had been acquired and traded for a minor league relief pitcher. And those are his numbers for 2 years with the Blue Jays. Played almost 200 games. And Pat, this is a very key acquisition at this point of the season.
Yeah, I think it is, you know, because he can back up Russell Martin and he can catch. Obviously, we know that, but he brings so much more to the table. You sit and talk to him for a couple of minutes, and you can see how smart he is. He's very good at stealing pitches from the pitchers and what they do, and stealing signs, things like that. He's a great hitter. How many times did we say last year Navarro has come up with another big hit for the Blue Jays?
And Encarnacion bounces the first pitch to the third baseman, and the throw from the third baseman Escobar was off target. So all they can do is get the force out at second as Bautista's up. Diana Navarro was a big part of the Blue Jays push last year, and he got so many big hits. And obviously we have talked about it often, what a good job he did with Marco Estrada. He really brought out the best in Estrada. Now Marco's having another good year, although he's had 3 tough starts in a row. But I think there are a lot of things that go into the acquisition of Diana Navarro. He's a switch hitter. He gets big hits, and he gives you more depth behind the plate.
And he fits right into the clubhouse, doesn't he? Like a glove. Been here before. The guys respect him. He's a veteran. He's going to add a lot to this team. That is a very astute pickup by the Blue Jays.
Russell Martin takes ball 2 inside. Russell continues to hit in the cleanup spot.
You've played with guys who they're sitting on the bench and they're watching the game and say, hey, look, every time the pitcher does this with his glove, that means a curveball's coming. Or if he does this when he gets set, that means a fastball. Navarro can do that. He has that knack of picking things out from a pitcher that tips their pitches.
Yeah, and everybody seems to sit next to Diana when he's not playing, just to pick up on some of those things. But he helps the pitchers. He certainly helps the hitters, and I think it's a real good move by the Blue Jays. This is popped up middle of the infield. Trevor Plouffe, the first baseman, calling for it, and the inning is over. Blue Jays get a leadoff walk, and they strand the base runner. It's 1-0 Minnesota after 1.
And treat you like gold. Learn more at WestJet.com/getgold. And speaking of WestJet, we are here in the WestJet flight deck tonight with DJ extraordinaire Jed Harper. Now, every piece of music, every sound effect we hear comes from you. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's our, well, there's a whole audio team, and I'm a big part of that, yeah.
Well, listen, you're also out there doing the Friday Fan Festival out there.
Yeah.
Tell me what the atmosphere is like when you're out there with all the fans and the bands performing.
It's unbelievable. The energy of the fans is great. It's a nice party vibe. It's like, it's great, man. I can't ask for more. Working with the Blue Jays, the fans are great. And right now, I mean, it can't be a better team to work with.
Vinyl's back in, but I don't recognize what this whole thing is. This just one of those
Don't touch that.
Don't touch that. Will not touch that. But, so what do you just play everything off the computers, right?
Well, not just the computers and we work together, and I tell it what to do and how it all works. And yeah, that's how
you take requests, right?
I do.
Right, a little Tragically Hip next break?
Absolutely. I just got it in right there for you.
There you go. Even before I asked for it, guys. How about that?
Thank you, Mary. It is 1-0, and this is Max Kepler. Kepler is an interesting young player from Minnesota. He was born in Berlin, Germany. And the Twins signed him as a 16-year-old. And when they signed him, they took him to Fort Myers, Florida, and he finished up high school in Florida. And he's starting to figure out baseball. Bounces this one to Marnie at second. One away.
How many languages does he speak? 3 different languages.
He speaks German, Polish, and English, obviously. But yeah, he's a good-looking young prospect, and he's gotten off to a pretty good start. 15 homers and 55 RBIs for the Berlin-born Max Kepler. Jorge Polanco. He shows bunt, pulls the bat back, takes his strike. Polanco playing at shortstop, and Paul Molitor was telling us it's really been unfair to him. He has played second base most of the season in the minor leagues, but now they've asked him to play shortstop. He is naturally a shortstop, but they were trying to see if he could transition to play second, but they got Brian Dozier.
Yeah. He's not going anywhere there, and they traded their all-star, their only all-star, Edwin Nunez. Nunez traded to San Francisco, so there's an opening at shortstop.
Nunez made 49 starts at shortstop, and he was having a terrific season. Obviously, he made his all-star team and then went to San Francisco. Now he's playing third base for the Giants.
I'm sure Eduardo Nunez will play anywhere as long as he's in a pennant race. And he's in a pennant race over there.
1-2. Popped up back over the dugout, out of play. Well, the Giants finally stopped the Dodgers last night and took a near no-hitter to do it. Matt Moore of the Giants took a no-hitter into the ninth with 2 outs, and Corey Seager had a pinch hit base hit. And then Moore was taken out of the game, but they completed the win.
They finally beat the Dodgers.
There's that hard slider in the dirt. Martin throws to Smoke to complete the strikeout. 2 away.
Get a hit of color during Canada's Color Expert Sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Beautiful evening in Toronto, folks out on Lake Ontario. Enjoying the final days of August. Eduardo Escobar jumps on that first pitch. Escobar has played some shortstop this season as well. He's made 61 starts at shortstop. Now he's asked to play third base. They've done a lot of juggling around the infield.
They've had a few third basemen also. We've seen Trevor Plouffe over there. Miguel Sano, it looks like they're going to move him to third base, that the experiment of playing right field is over and he's going to play third base, and the only reason he's not playing now, he's got some elbow problems.
Sano had Tommy John surgery early in his career. Yeah, he's got some power. They got to figure out a way to get him in the lineup on a regular basis. 1-2 pitch. Bounce back to the mound. Liriano takes his time. Easy inning for the lefty. 3 up, 3 down in the second.
2017 season tickets are now available, and with your membership, you'll also have the opportunity to purchase 2016 postseason tickets. It is a time-limited offer, though, while supplies last. Season ticket member benefits include access to season ticket member exclusive events like enrollment into the My Blue Jays program. Visit bluejays.com/season tickets for more details. Guys, Ross Atkins is speaking with the media as we speak, and we'll have more information later on as to exactly the role that Deandre Navarro will have when he rejoins the Blue Jays.
Well, the role's going to be a backup catcher, and he's probably going to DH a little bit. He's done well as a DH in the past. He's hit over 300. He served as a DH 39 times in his career, and Pat, you and I both know he's a good hitter.
He's a good hitter, has good at bats, got some power.
Troy Tulowitzki jumps on the first pitch, and he rifles it into left field. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Well, Kansas City has been red hot. They've won 10 of 11. Ian Kennedy is on the mound for them tomorrow. And what about the pitching matchup tomorrow afternoon in Fenway? David Price and Danny Duffy. That's pretty good. Price is on a roll right now, and Danny Duffy's been as good as anybody.
Danny Duffy's has been as good as any left-hander in the American League.
Speaking of hot hitters, here's one. Melvin Upton Jr. He's swinging the bat very well lately. He didn't like that call. Thought it was off the plate inside. Upton had a 3-hit game last night. A pair of doubles, scored 2 runs. He went 3 for 4. His first 3-hit game as a Blue Jay.
Starting to pound the ball, starting to drive the ball, hit it with a little bit more consistency.
He is a streaky hitter. Little flare that's going to drop. Melvin Upton's hot. When you're going well, things fall for you. Back-to-back hits here in the second.
Fight off that breaking ball in the inside part of the plate. I think we have our answer. What Pat Dean's going to do to the right-handers. He's going to pitch inside. A couple of fastballs in, and then here comes another slider on the inside part of the plate. But Upton fights it off, muscles it over the shortstop Polanco for another base hit. Keep swinging. Minnesota is expecting a bunt here from Darwin Barney.
I don't think the Blue Jays are thinking about a bunt. Too early in the ball game.
Too early in the ball game, and the guy on deck tends to strike out a lot.
Yeah, Justin Smoak is on deck. The switch hitter starting for the first time since August 19th. So Darwin Barney, you're going to let him hit. He had a nice cut. Looked like he got a high breaking ball and fouled it back.
Yeah, this is where good at-bats come in. Work the ball around the field.
Devin Travis continues to have a problem with that hand. Got a ligament problem in his right hand on that third finger, and he's got it bandaged up. God, you know, anytime you have issues with your hands, your thumb, your fingers, you can't play.
It's very difficult. I mean, you're almost afraid to swing the bat because you're afraid if you don't hit it squarely, that's going to hurt your hands. And you can see from that tape job, he's in a little pain. But they swear he's going to play tomorrow.
Just like we always say in regards to making announcements, when they get to the podium, we'll see the lineup. But I hope he's in there. They need him. There's no question about it. And I can tell you, he's dying inside.
Yeah.
He didn't get a chance to play last year down the stretch because of the shoulder injury. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Darwin Barney. Now it's a full count. Justin Smoak is on deck. Tulowitzki singled on the first pitch. Upton hit a little flare into left field. Back-to-back singles to start the inning. Off-speed pitch is popped up, foul territory. Escobar over near the coach's box makes the catch. Barney's return on the pop foul.
Boy, that showed a lot of confidence in a young pitcher. And Dean throwing a breaking ball, 3-2. 2 runners on base, nobody out. Totally fooled Darwin Barney popped it up. Can't advance the runners.
Well, there are a lot of Blue Jays that need to get a big hit to get things turned around, but this guy right here probably needs one more than anybody. Justin Smoak's had a tough go of it lately. Smokey's batting .221 for the season. How difficult is it to fight the urge to swing hard and get some big hits now after he hasn't had a good run?
He said that too. He says, you know, I want to do well so bad that I find myself over swinging too much and a little bit too anxious. He's better when he is just laid back, just stay back and just let the bat head work. But you're right, he has struggled lately with runners in scoring position. He wants to do something to help the team, and when you try and force the issue, it just makes it that much more difficult.
Smoak has hit .216 against left-handed pitchers. A couple of home runs, 2 of his 13 homers against lefties. That's off the plate. 3-0.
You know, his at-bats haven't been bad. He just has been swinging and missing a lot. He gets in good counts, gets a fastball, and then misses it. Here he is again in a hitter's count once more.
But Jacoby, of course, he feels the pain of all of his hitters. He works hard with each and every one of them every single day trying to get to the root of the problems. 3-0 pitch. There's a strike. Smoak is 0 for his last 29 batting with runners in scoring position, and like we said, he needs a hit.
For himself and for the team. And this is where you want to do it right here, 3-1. Look for a ball on the inner half and see if you can do some damage.
Swinging a fly ball deep to left. Get up, ball! Get up! This ball is gone! Welcome back, Smokey.
Boy, that's got to feel good if you're Justin Smoak. You get put in the lineup against the left-hander, and you deliver your first time up in a big way. Got to be big for him, too. He gets a home run ball.
Well, I tell you what, everybody in that dugout knows the pain he's been going through, and they couldn't be happier for him. Snaps that long offer with a 3-run home run, and he's given the Blue Jays the lead.
3-1. You're looking for something on the inside part of the plate that you can do some damage, and he gets a pitch on the inner half, and doesn't get any better than that. 3-run homer.
You know, he's got a great personality. We were talking to him around the batting cage, you know, and it's been a while since he's played. And I was teasing him. I said, "You think he can play 9 innings?" He said, "I hope so." What a great kid, and everybody's happy for him, and that man on his right is really happy. Francisco Liriano.
Boy, that's got to make you feel good. You know, one swing of the bat and you get 3 RBIs, and it's just the second inning. You got 3 more cracks at it.
3-1 Blue Jays. Herrera slaps it foul past third base.
This is home run number 14. He can do this. Switch hitter with some power. Just drops it in that front row. Nice catch by the fan out there.
Boy, that's a great present for a father to give to his son. If that's his kid, he made him very happy right there. He's got a front row seat, and now he's got a souvenir. 2-2 to Carrera. Bautista waits on deck. Bouncing ball toward the middle. Dozier has it. Just in time. Well, it is a great weekend series. A lot of kids are here. A lot of young fans have come to the ballpark, and this young fan will be a fan forever now. He's got a souvenir home run ball, and he can't believe it.
Look at that look on his face. Look at him cradling it so close to his chest. And I'm not giving this bad boy up. That's what it's all about right there, folks. Thank you, Justin Smoak.
Bautista takes a breaking ball down and in.
I think that young fan's got a friend for life in Smokey. He's going to be his favorite player from now on.
That'll be his hero for sure. Up the middle, base hit for Bautista. He's been on base twice already.
Boy, you get him back in the lineup, and you get just his presence, and then production starting to happen. I told you he's only played in 81 games this year. He's got 15 home runs and 50 RBIs. I mean, that's on pace for 30 and 100.
He may have hit that one off the end of the bat, but he got enough of it to drive it into center. Bautista's second hit in as many games since coming off the DL. Josh Donaldson flew out to left field his first time on. Thank goodness that hit the wall down the left field line and didn't go into the seats. That was a rocket.
Oh, he is all over that slider. Pitching inside, and the Blue Jays are taking advantage of it.
Following a strike to Donaldson. He went around, fooled on the off-speed pitch. Donaldson has picked up that Nolan Arenado bat from the Colorado Rockies. Tulowitzki got it while the Blue Jays were in Denver, and they've been passing it around.
There's been a lot of hits in that bat.
He's out in front of that pitch, and you're right, Pat. The Blue Jays are looking inside off Dean.
That was the scatter report the first time they faced him, and he crossed him up by throwing his fastball away from him and pitched 6 pretty effective innings against the Blue Jays. Tonight, though, he's following the Blue Jays scouting report that he's not afraid to pitch inside.
Donaldson with 29 home runs. Off-speed pitch. He gets a piece of it. (3-1) Blue Jays. Trevor Plouffe hit a 2-out first inning home run off Francisco Liriano, and Justin Smoak answered that with a 3-run homer, his 14th of the season. It'll be a full count. If Donaldson reaches, Encarnacion will come to the plate. Swing and a drive deep to right field. This ball is hit up, turn and gone. Number 30.
Time up, we were saying he's showing some signs of coming around with a little bit more consistency in his swing. The whole key to that at bat right there for Josh Donaldson is he got himself back to a 3-2 count. He was behind, he laid off a couple of tough sliders. Dean forced that fastball in there, stayed out over the plate, and Donaldson ripped it to right field.
30th home run of the season for Josh Donaldson, and he goes the other way, drives it deep. And we've talked about home runs and how many of these long home runs have been hit to center and into the alleys.
And what that means is they're staying on the ball just a little bit more. They're not flying open and trying to yank the ball out of the ballpark. They're staying on it, and they're staying through it. How think that's what makes Josh Donaldson such a good hitter, is he can repeat that swing and he stays through the baseball so well. That's how you want to hit a ball to right field.
Encarnacion will be the 8th Blue Jay to bat this inning. A 5-run inning. It's been a while since the Blue Jays have had that kind of offense.
Time to pitch away from the power now, it looks like. That was the message from Neil Allen. Pitch away from the power. Stay away with that fastball.
Blue Jays getting whole once again, getting their players back. Bautista returned. Hopefully Travis will be back. Donaldson has been dinged up a little bit this month.
Everybody is. You know, I think every team can say the same thing after you've played 125, 130 ball games. Everybody's going to get dinged up.
Encarnacion is called out on strikes, but the Blue Jays break it open here in the second. With 2 aboard, Justin Smoke gets a 3-1 fastball and hammers his 14th of the season. And then Josh Donaldson, a 2-run shot, his 30th. Jays Care on-air broadcast winners for the broadcast experience are sitting there in the middle of Ivanka Osmak, Tim and Sid, and what a night for them. They had a chance to come up to the broadcast booth. They went to the TV production truck and they're enjoying a laugh with Tim and Sid. Looks like Sid's got the audience at his beck and call right there. He's having a good time.
Who doesn't have a laugh with Tim and Sid? Huh? Everybody seems to have fun with those guys. And Ivanka's not there with Ken. Where's her partner?
It's probably golfing. It's a nice evening for that. He loves to golf.
Those are some nice guys. They got to come up here and visit you and I before the ball game today. One of them's an aspiring announcer.
Anthony hopes to be an announcer one day, and we're living proof that anybody can do it. He had a good time. He had a lot of questions for us as to what our preparation is like, and it was nice to have him here. Kurt Suzuki, the Twins catcher, batting .279. Veteran catcher, has done a terrific job throughout his career. He's closing in on 1,000 games caught. 5th among active catchers in games played.
Well, if you're Francisco Liriano right now, you want to be pumping that ball in there, making them hit their way on. Offense is just giving you 5 runs. Make them hit their way on base.
Suzuki takes the lead off walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jones left the game last night with cramping in his legs, and Giovanni Gallardo has given up 5 runs on 5 hits in an inning and a third, the starter for the Orioles. But you know what? It's like that for everybody this time of the year. You just keep your fingers crossed you can keep your regulars on the field. Luis Cessa, hard-throwing youngster, on the mound for the Yankees. Eddie Rosario with a ball on the strike. Rosario, the center fielder.
This guy can hit right here. He has got a nice swing. He'll stay in there on the lefties.
Jack Morris is in town doing the TV color work for the Minnesota broadcast, and he said this guy reminds me of Rod Carew. Anytime you can mention Rod Carew in a sentence about describing a hitter, that's high praise. There's Jack on the left with Dick Bremer, the TV broadcast crew from Minnesota.
Blue Jays didn't see him when they faced him last time in May. He was having some outfield issues and some base running issues, and they sent him back down in minor leagues the 4 days that the Blue Jays were there in May. But he can hit. He reminds me of Wade Boggs, the way he stands on the plate with his arms extended like that and shoots the ball the other way.
He has a knack for putting the bat on the ball, and sometimes it looks like you can beat him and then he'll get that barrel to the ball.
Well, it's nearly impossible to walk him. That's the thing. He just doesn't walk. He's had 271 at bats. He's walked 9 times this year.
2-2 pitch. He got a piece of that one. He was out in front, a little bit off balance. Liriano making his 4th start as a Blue Jay, and last time out against Cleveland he gave up 4 hits in 6 innings, 1 run. It was an unearned run. Isn't it interesting to watch Rosario? Some guys just have a feel for where the barrel is in their hand. They can take the barrel to the ball no matter where the ball is.
Or what type of pitch it is. If it's a breaking ball, inside, outside, they can take the barrel to it. Fastballs up, down. I think if you're a scout and you're watching young hitters hit, the guys who can do what the Jose Altuves can do, and this guy, good hands. They're called hands type of hitter. They use their hands, and right now he's using his hands. Liriano's thrown a couple of good pitches that he has fouled off.
Quite a battle going on right here between Liriano and Rosario. Six foul balls in this at bat. Rosario just battling, trying to force Liriano into a mistake.
Boy, that's another good pitch. The 10th pitch of the at bat. He's got a great changeup. I don't think he has seen a changeup in this sequence right here, but you're afraid to throw it to a lefty with a runner on first base where he can just softly hit a ground ball through that hole on the right side. So it looks like they're going to stay away from him.
Reaches for that and chops it between the mound and first. Liriano can't make the play. Tried to glove it, went off his glove. And what an at bat for Rosario. He reaches, and it's probably going to be an infield hit. They give Liriano in the air, and that's kind of a tough air. He gets off the mound, he reaches for it, and just boots it.
Well, look how far he had to come. I mean, he fell off towards the third base side. He had to turn around and go, and now he's going to reach for it. He had clanged off his glove just a little bit, but that's a tough play for a left-handed pitcher. Watch him one more time. Watch how he falls off towards the third base side. He's got to spin all the way back around, and now he's got to backhand the ball. Even if he comes up with that, it was going to be bang bang at first base.
It's much easier play for a right-handed pitcher because his glove's going to be there. His momentum takes him toward the first base foul line. But tough air charge to Liriano. First two reach here in the third.
Boy, that's not what you want with one of the hottest hitters in baseball coming up in Brian Dozier.
Dozier popped out to the second baseman in shallow center field. First and second, nobody out.
He has hit the most home runs in baseball in the month of August. 11 home runs out of the leadoff spot for Minnesota.
He's a very interesting player. He played 5 seasons, and for a second baseman, he has hit 15 or more triples, 100 or more home runs, and 50 or more stolen bases through his first 5 seasons. So fly ball at the center. Upton appears to have room right at the edge of the warning track. Suzuki tags, advances to third. Rosario holds his ground at first.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Rogers 4K TV. Get closer to the action with 4 times the resolution of HD alone.
Blue Jays have a 5-1 lead, and Francisco Liriano has allowed just 1 hit. It was a home run. He's thrown 50 pitches, and the ball strike ratio is pretty positive. 66% strikes, and that's been the problem over his career, the inability to be consistently in the strike zone.
He's averaging 17 pitches per inning, and he'll have high pitch counts because he strikes out a lot of batters, 9 per 9 innings. He also walks a lot of batters, 5 walks in 9 innings. That's why I thought the 4-seam fastball was so good for him against Cleveland, because he used it a lot early, getting ahead early against the Indians and then finishing them off with sliders and changeup. Tonight he doesn't have the command just yet of that 4-seam fastball, getting ahead of these hitters. We haven't seen it yet.
3-0. Robbie Grossman's the hitter. He struck out on a changeup. Trevor Plouffe homered in the first inning. He waits on deck. 5-1 Blue Jays. Four-pitch walk. Second walk of the inning. A walk to Grossman will load the bases, and that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe, who homered in the first.
This is the guy you don't want to see. He's got great career numbers against Liriano. This was hit in the first inning. Looked like a slider over the middle of the plate, and he didn't miss it. That is how the Minnesota Twins got their first run.
Plouffe now 4 for 6 against Liriano with 3 career home runs. Bases are loaded.
You know, that shows you how important that play was. That little nubber off the bat by the number 9 hitter. If he makes that play, flips over to first base, gets the out, you're talking 2 outs and just 2 runners on base. But he couldn't handle that comebacker off of the bat of Rosario. Now he's got to work.
2-0. Tulowitzki is going to sprint in from his position at shortstop and see if he can't help Liriano get this thing sorted out here. Something along the lines of, hey man, we'll turn 2. You put a strike in there and we'll get you out of this inning.
Yeah, well, he's got so much movement on his pitches that if he makes a pitch, he can get a ground ball and get out of here. John Gibbons isn't going to wait around tonight.
Baron Luke up quickly here in the third. 2-1 now.
Gibby can't afford to wait around.
Running out of games.
Yeah, you got a lead. You got to just stop it right here.
Blue Jays and Red Sox are tied atop the AL East. Baltimore a game back. The Yankees just 5.5 back. Fly ball, right field. Bautista on the warning track. Suzuki tags at third. He comes in to score. The other runners will move up 90 feet. Barney runs it back in as Rosario is bouncing off third base. But Plouffe with the sac fly to right has driven in both Twins runs. It's now 5-2.
It's a base running by the Minnesota Twins, tagging up, both runners tagging up and getting into scoring position.
Well, the ball was hit all the way to the warning track, and they was picked up on it. Was going to be a routine out, so they both went back and tagged. Now, Miguel Sano grounded out to second base, his only time up. The inexperience of Sano. He chases a borderline pitch after Liriano has walked 2 in this inning.
Keep it on the edges. This guy's got massive power, but he will strike out.
He swings at 2 balls, and that's the experience playing into Liriano's hand. Plouffe with a home run and a sac fly. Talking to Joe Mauer, who's not in the lineup tonight. Rosario's jockeying off the bag at third, trying to distract Liriano. Sano strikes out. Liriano is out of the top of the third. He gives up a run, couple of walks. Blue Jays still have a 5-2 lead.
TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for more details, and I'm sure Jamie will have details later, but good news on the out-of-town scoreboard, gentlemen.
The Orioles are in New York playing the Yankees, and the Yankees have an 8-1 lead. Bottom of the second. And they've already knocked out Giovanni Gallardo. Pat Swirly is into the game. And Kansas City has a 5-1 lead over the Red Sox, bottom of the second at Fenway.
Golden opportunity yesterday for the Blue Jays to pick up some ground, not only on the American League East teams that are in the hunt for the wild card. Seattle lost also yesterday on a walk-off.
We're still in August, and games are important. I think the Blue Jays need to just focus on what they do. When you're in first place, it doesn't make any difference what anybody else does.
As long as you win, right?
Yep. Just keep playing. Russell Martin popped out to the first baseman. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Martin, leading off the bottom of the third. In case you're just joining us, the Blue Jays announced at the start of the game that they have reacquired Deanna Navarro, switch-hitting catcher, in a deal from Chicago. Navarro had signed a one-year contract as a free agent with the White Sox, and John Gibbons has a new catcher. And it won't take him long to get here, I bet. Ross Atkins, the general manager, continues to try to improve his ball club. Martin hits it to the shortstop. One away. Now you talk about the Orioles in New York playing the Yankees, Kansas City taking on the Red Sox at Fenway, and there's the AL East as we speak. Toronto at 71-56, tied with Boston. Orioles are a game back. And the Orioles got more bad news tonight. Adam Jones left the game again. I think he left the game last night in Washington as well with leg cramps, and it might be a reoccurrence of that same situation.
The other day, Chris Tillman went on the disabled list. Really their only pitcher that they've had any confidence in or with this year. Saw a stat somewhere when Tillman starts, there's something like 11 games over 500.
I think they're 20-5.
When he starts.
When he starts.
And when he doesn't,
yeah,
it's not good.
Troy Tulowitzki singled to start the second. He scored on the smoke home run. Tulowitzki up over 250 with that base hit. 21 homers and 64 RBIs. Another productive season for the shortstop. It's a fly ball to right. Kepler coming in. He'll get there and make the catch.
We've been there from the start. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
Melvin Upton Jr. singled his first time up. Singles again. Swing it, Melvin. 2 for 2 tonight. He had 3 hits last night.
Getting a chance to play with some injuries and some ineffectiveness, and that swing is starting to come around for Melvin Upton. Another breaking ball that he picks on. Stays back on this one and rips it head down in the left field. Now this is going to be really interesting. You got to give him the green light right here at first base to try and get himself into scoring position.
Yeah, you sure do. Kurt Suzuki has had a terrible season trying to gun down base runners. He's caught just 6 of 52 this season. Boy, that was a very abbreviated stop from Pat Dean. That was close to being a balk.
Somebody's got to give them the heads up. The umpire say, hey, that was a little bit quick. You got to make him stop. Plus he had a slide step.
Marnie fouls it up. 0-2. You almost have to run right here no matter what. Just go on his first move. See if you can't get into scoring position. With 2 strikes, Dean's liable to throw a breaking ball in the dirt.
I bet you he throws over to first base because they're thinking the same thing, partner, with what you just said.
Paul Molitor, he knows all about running. He can do it as good as anybody. The Hall of Famer was a terrific base runner and a good base stealer. So he's got a feel for what Upton's thinking about.
What he should do is just kind of walk off of first base, just slowly meander off the base, and then as soon as Dean comes set, his first movement, take off.
Dean's done a pretty good job of mixing up his release times from the mound once he gets into that set position. Molitor had 504 stolen bases. Marnie swings at that pitch, protecting that inside corner. It's a 5-2 ball game. Pat Dean touched up for 5 runs on 5 hits, including 2 home runs in the second. Dustin Smoke got it started with a 3-run shot. Josh Donaldson hit a 2-run home run with 2 outs to top off that 5-run inning.
What you'd like to do is get into that bullpen early. Minnesota Twins have some new arms that the hitters haven't seen. I think there's 5 new relievers on the roster since the last time these two teams faced.
Mahler's got 9 relievers in his bullpen tonight. Quite a chess match going on here between Dean and Upton.
Well, maybe he can pay a little bit more attention to that base runner, and then instead of that hitter, and he can make a mistake.
Barney's all over that inside pitch.
2 outs and 2 strikes on the batter. That's the guy I'd be paying attention to.
Melvin Upton Jr. has 297 stolen bases. His career high is 44. He stole 44 with the Rays in 2008. He's got a good lead now. It just got better. Umpire at home, Manny Gonzalez calls timeout. Barney had to wait a little bit too long and asked for time.
He's jumping way out there, almost forcing him to throw over to first base. He's walking lead, walking out there, and then he comes set. He takes one more giant pop.
Barney gets a base hit. All that concern about Upton. Dean gives up a 2-out single to Barney. Good at bat for Darwin.
That's what I mean. When you got 2 strikes and 2 outs on the batter, but why worry about that guy at first base? He's going to do whatever he wants to do. You should get this guy. Darwin's going to take advantage of that hole on the right side and shoot that 2-strike pitch the other way. It's like a changeup going down and away, and that's his best pitch, a changeup. Shoots it over to right field for a 2-out hit.
Now here's the man of the hour so far, Justin Smoak. He came up with a 3-run home run on a 3-1 fastball his last time up. Base hit to left field. Upton's getting a wave around third. Here's the throw from Grossman. Not in time. Smoak with a 4 RBI night.
You know, then when you've got a runner in scoring position and you got that pitcher on the rope, don't wait around. Hit that first strike that you see. He homered last inning for 3 runs, and now he's going to hit a long, hard single into left field to score Upton. No chance for Grossman to get him. Upton just runs too well, and the Blue Jays get that run back. He's off on the crack of the bat. Good turn at third base, and really, he didn't need to slide. He just outran the baseball.
Justin Smoak had not had a base hit with a runner in scoring position since June 17th at Baltimore. He got a 3-run home run in the second. He has an RBI single here in the third. Andrew Albers, the Canadian from North Battleford, Saskatchewan, loosening up. Ezekiel Carrera grounded out to second. This entire inning revolved around Melvin Upton Jr. jockeying for a lead at first with 2 outs. Bouncing ball up the middle. Dozier will flip to second for the force out. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays get a run back at 6-2 Jays. And here comes the ultimate cleanup crew, brought to you by Home Hardware's exclusive line of the ultimate hard hitting and tough on grind cleaning products.
incrementally better, we'll look to do. And then the added experience and time that he has with this team was a benefit. He'll fit right in with the clubhouse. I think, when we made the staff aware that he would be joining us, they were extremely excited about not just what he means as a catcher, but just an overall teammate.
Now, Yankees Navarro has postseason experience. He had some with Tampa Bay early in his career. He had some more last year with the Blue Jays. He also appeared in the NLDS with Cincinnati in 2012. So, the staff knows him, the coaching staff. They all know what he brings to a ball club. And Ross Atkins might not be fully aware of the impact of those subtleties, but the team knows that Yankees Navarro is coming back, and that's a good thing.
I can count how many times last year when you talk to the coaches, hey, who do you want up with a runner at second base and 2 outs and you need that run in? Almost every one of them would say Yankees Navarro. That's the guy we want. He can come up with some big base hits. He just has a knack of locking it in. He's a switch hitter, so that doesn't faze him. Who's on the mound, lefty, right, it doesn't matter. He just has a knack of coming up with big base hits.
This is Max Kepler, the right fielder. Three and one to the leadoff hitter here in the fourth. The leadoff walk, second straight inning that Liriano has issued that leadoff walk.
He's just getting a little bit too quick. His arm isn't catching up with his body, and everything is up and away, arm side. He needs to just slow down, stay over that mound just a little bit longer. You can see him shaking his head, upset with himself.
He has walked 3 already in this game tonight. His previous high in the starts for the Blue Jays was 2. He wants 2 in each of the first 3 starts. Jorge Polanco, a switch hitter. He struck out back in the second. Fouled off the catcher, Russell Martin. Pat, over the years, I've caught pitchers like Liriano that have great stuff and just have trouble getting it into the strike zone consistently because of the movement. And as a catcher, you try all sorts of things. You'll give him a fastball and you'll sit in the middle of the plate, and then if it's off the plate, you'll sit inside, just trying to create a little better angle for him. Good breaking ball for a strikeout. 1 away here in the fourth.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SUHD TV.
Well, that looks pretty inviting right there. The grill is going, the burgers are on, and step right up, get yourself a nice hot hamburger.
There's no question, and take that, what we were just talking about, one step further, that his stuff, Liriano's stuff, is as good as anyone's. A lot of movement. He struck out Polanco with a slider. He has struck out 36 batters now with that slider since the All-Star break. Only Chris Archer and Jose Fernandez have struck out more batters. The key for him is getting to that 2-strike pitch a little bit earlier in the at-bat. Not real happy with his performance right now as he falls behind once again.
Now it's 3-0. It is very frustrating for Liriano. He understands how good his stuff is, but the guy I caught that was similar to Liriano was Andy Hassler. 6'5" left-hander, without question the toughest pitcher I ever had to catch.
Because his ball just moved all over the place.
Everywhere. Yeah. And we would try all sorts of things, and it just was inconsistent. They got Hassler from the Angels in '76. He made 14 starts for us. He had a 2.89 earned run average and was 4-5.
4-5 with an ERA under 3.
Another walk. Second walk of the inning.
Well, this is where the pitching coach becomes so important, that you can notice something, pay attention on that bench, and you might see something. Right now, he's flying open, and that arm just can't catch up, and everything is wide arm side. Pete Walker is pretty keyed into things like that.
Yeah, the mechanical adjustments, sometimes a pitcher can't really feel what's out of whack, and another set of eyes will help you out. And Jay Happ, he was breezing along last night, retired 13 in a row, and then the wheels fell off, and there's just no rhyme, no reason to it. And we've heard starting pitchers talk about it all the time. You make 34 starts during a season, and you might have everything together 7 or 8 times. The starters have gone through a tough stretch recently over the last 8 games. As a unit, the starters have an ERA of 5. One's hitting higher than they have all season. And they're all anxious to turn things around. They have been terrific as a group for the entire season.
Yeah, and with the 6-man rotation, they've all been able to catch their breath, limit the innings just a little bit, and now going forward, I can see the Blue Jays after this homestand going back to that 5-man rotation and everybody getting the normal work again.
I agree with you. Aaron Sanchez comes back on Wednesday in Baltimore. And let's see what happens after that start. There's a base hit. This ball's going to go all the way to the wall. Upton's over. He's going to cut it off before it gets to the wall. 2 runs are coming in to score, and here's the throw to the plate, not nearly in time, as Kurt Suzuki drives one to the alley in center field, and both of these walks have come in to score here in the 4th.
He's walked 4, 3 of them have come around to score. Leadoff walk in inning number 2. Leadoff walk in inning number 4. Kurt Suzuki stays right with this pitch and just lines it, takes it the other way. Blue Jays were playing him to pull. And by the time Upton runs that ball down, cuts it off, 2 runs are going to score. It's now 6-4. I tell you, bullpen is up once again.
This time it's Joe Biagini, the right-hander. Aaron Luke was up earlier. Now Biagini starting to crank it up. Biagini threw 21 pitches last night in an inning and 2/3. Rosario tried to bunt and fouled it off. We saw the Angels come in here and take 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays, and you know, these teams that are in last place, this is the only thing they have to play for. Right. Play the spoiler, knock you off.
I've played on both sides of it. I've played on good teams in the pressure to win against the teams that are out of it is there. And I've played on teams that are out of it, playing against teams, and there's nothing more that you would like to do but make things a little bit more difficult for them. Pressure's off. Just go out there and just play the game.
Paul Molitor was telling us before the game he had a meeting with his team, and he was talking about how fast things can pass you by. He said, you know, fellas, I turned 60 a couple of days ago, and it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting in your seat. And I just want to remind you, don't take anything for granted.
Make every day count. You know, enjoy where you're at in your life, that you're a major league player, because just like that, you turn 60. Hard to believe, huh?
You never know when that next opportunity might present itself, and there are a lot of youngsters on this team. Rosario, he couldn't make contact on that pitch. It's a big strikeout. He reached on an air and contributed to that run last inning.
Well, he's a free swinger. Told you, tough to walk him, and maybe that's where you got to pitch him up. Bad slider that's up, and Rosario can't catch up to it. Got to leave that runner out there at second base.
Brian Dozier is 0 for 2 to this point. Popped out and flied out. There's a first pitch strike. Again, this is the frustrating aspect of Liriano's outing. 2 hits, 4 runs.
Walks. He's averaging 5 walks per 9 innings.
You know, you always think as a manager, well, I'd like the starter to get through 5 innings. Sean Gibbons doesn't have that luxury.
No. If it was April or May, maybe.
High fly ball. Bautista in right field, backing up, waiting for it, and the inning is over. The Twins get 2 more runs. It's a 6-4 Blue Jay lead, and we come back top of the order. Jose Bautista has been on base twice. Donaldson has hit a 2-run home run, and Edwin Encarnacion.
Comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone. Our guests of TD and parents, you know what? It is time to get them set for school. And Rogers has 5 great high-five deals, including offers on phones, tablets, data, and more on select 2-year share everything plans. Hurry into a Rogers store today. And now we send it back to the booth with Buck Martinez, and we say welcome back to Mr. Pat Tabler.
Indeed. Welcome back, Pat. Good to have you back in the booth. And the Blue Jays have a 6-4 lead. New pitcher is a former Blue Jay and a native of North Battleford, Saskatchewan, Andrew Albers.
Minnesota Twins have the 3rd highest ERA, bullpen ERA in the American League at 4.26, but some reinforcements are on the way. This is one of them right here. Albers just called up today to help out. He's a left-hander. He doesn't throw very hard, moves the ball around the strike zone. He is a lot like Pat Dean, who just got knocked out of this ball game for Minnesota.
Bautista with a check swing roller, and that's a fair ball. Bautista checked his swing and got jammed. The ball rolled up the first baseline. He never got out of the batter's box, and that's about the easiest out that Albers will ever get.
And for Jose, you're just praying that this ball goes foul. He runs that fastball in on his hands. He tries to check his swing. Instead of the ball going foul and keeping the at-bat alive, wouldn't you know it, it just harmlessly heads up the first base line for an easy out. That's frustrating.
That's the most frustrating at bat you can have. A first pitch check swing roller. Josh Donaldson hit his 30th home run of the season. Part of a 5-run inning. 16th time this season the Blue Jays have scored 5 or more runs in an inning. Ground ball. Nice play at third by Escobar. Takes a hit away from Donaldson. Albers gets 2 quick outs.
Well, if you're the Blue Jays, be ready to swing the bat. Andrew Albers is going to be around the plate, doesn't walk a lot of batters, and the Blue Jays have done that. Donaldson's going to be robbed of a hit by this play by the third baseman. Escobar dives, cradles the ball, and knows he has some time because the ball got to him quickly. 2 very quick outs for Andrew Albers.
As we mentioned, Escobar made 61 starts at shortstop. Now he's playing at third base. This is just his 6th start at third base. Donaldson grounds out, second out of the inning. Now Edwin Encarnacion. Hit into a fielder's choice and has struck out. Ball on the strike. Albers was drafted by the San Diego Padres in 2008 out of the University of Kentucky. It's a 10th round draft pick, and he has seen just about every kind of baseball you can imagine. Played in the Independent League in 2010 after not playing organized baseball in 2009. He's pitched in the Twins minor league organization. He pitched in Korea, pitched in the Venezuelan Winter League. And he has pitched a lot. Actually pitched in a game with the Blue Jays in 2015. One game, pitched a total of 2 2/3 innings. He's pitched a lot for Canada in the international baseball tournaments. There's a fly ball to center, not that deep. Rosario was there. Quick inning for Andrew Albers. The Blue Jays have a 6-4 lead as we head to the 5th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell. And
The best way to do it is with the Sportsnet app. It lets you stay up to date with the latest scores, breaking news, game highlights, and analysis of Canada's team. Plus, never miss a single pitch with our in-depth live game tracker, available on iOS and Android devices. And if you go later on, you can watch what Ross Atkins had to say about the acquisition today of Deanna Navarro. Guys?
thank you, Barry. That's a great opportunity to keep track of everything that Blue Jays are into. Pat, I think there's going to be more trades, more deals. There's talk that Desmond Jennings is going to be released from Tampa Bay. I think there's going to be a lot of shuffling of players the last few days. Reminder that Blue Jays and everybody else in the pennant race, they have to have the players in their organization before September 1st to be eligible for postseason play.
That's right. I'll tell you what, the way Desmond Jennings hits in this ballpark, that wouldn't be a bad pickup, I think, for the Blue Jays.
He's had a disappointing season, obviously, and he's battled injuries lately. But I think the Blue Jays are continuing to try to fine-tune their team. How about Carlos Gomez, who played in his first game with the Rangers, hit a 3-run home run in his first at bat?
How about that? I mean, he looked awful for Houston when we saw him. They released him. Texas picked him up. Change of scenery.
Well, I tell you what, they have two of the best leaders in the clubhouse on that team now, Adrian Beltre and Carlos Beltran. It might be a good atmosphere for Gomez. This is Robbie Grossman. Ground ball. Donaldson with a waist-high hop. One away.
A lot of things have changed, but one thing hasn't. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
Beautiful evening in Toronto on this Friday night. It was 29 degrees at the start of this ball game. Trevor Plouffe has homered and hit a sac fly. He's driven in 2 of the 4 Twins runs. Kurt Suzuki has a 2-run double.
They've only got 2 hits. Minnesota.
Oh, that's a good pitch. Got that corner down and away. Mentioned Liriano spent 7 seasons with the Minnesota Twins, went 50 and 52. Then 4 years in Pittsburgh. He was teamed up with Russell Martin for 2 of those seasons. He was 41 and 36 pitching for the Pirates. He spent part of a season in Chicago after leaving Minnesota. Pitched in 12 games for the White Sox 2012. What a wicked breaking ball. Another strikeout. That's 6 strikeouts for Liriano.
That's why that pitch count is approaching 100. A lot of strikeouts. Boy, this is a good pitch to a good hitter. 2 at-bats for Plouffe. 2 RBIs tonight. This time he's going to come up empty on that slider. It's got some late break to it. Going down. Get underneath that bat.
Miguel Sano struck out his last time up. Pretty good pitch, didn't get to come, but it's hard to get those borderline pitches when you've walked 4. Looked like he went after it. Russell Martin wants the appeal at first, and first base umpire Chad Fairchild said Sano checked his swing.
That's the pitch that he struck out on in his last at bat with a couple of runners on base. He kept waving at that changeup.
Slider in there for strike 2.
He does not have 350 at bats, and he has struck out 135 times. I mean, just get it close.
He went around. He got it close. It was in the dirt, but Sano strikes out to end the inning. Liriano is through 5 innings, and he has a 6-4 lead.
Coming up this weekend on Sunday, it is Red Blue Jays baseball shirt presented by Honda. It is the first 20,000 fans who have come on Canada Baseball Day. They'll receive a Red Blue Jays shirt. It is the Twins and Blue Jays. Remember, arrive early. People get here and they line up. The gates will open at 11 o'clock, so make sure you get one. And of course, guys, I think it's time that we get the We Like Our Team Barry shirt day going on, don't you think?
I think you should put that in the books, Barry. We like our team, Barry. We do. And you're right, fans line up for the giveaway days, and they're here. You need to stop by and get you a nice cup of coffee and stand in line.
Sure, we'll see the red jerseys on Sunday. Baseball Canada Day.
Yep.
I saw them in some of the lockers this afternoon.
Yeah, I think the players like that. Trent Tulowitzki wears his red Blue Jays Maple Leaf hat out all the time for BP. Russell Martin is 0 for 2. Ground ball. They play him in the shift. That's Dozier on the shortstop side of second. He makes the play. Russell is 0 for 3. Andrew Albers retired to side in order in his first inning back in the fourth. He's now retired 4 straight since coming into the ballgame in relief of Pat Dean.
He's come in here, worked quickly, throwing strikes. They haven't hit a ball hard against him yet.
Troy Tulowitzki 1 for 2. Inside, a ball on the strike. The Blue Jays scored 5 runs in the second. The 16th time this season they've had a inning of 5 or more runs. Liriano, the pitcher of record, 5 innings in the books for him. Last season, the Blue Jays led baseball with 28 innings in which they scored 5 or more runs. 7 more innings than anybody else in baseball, scoring 5 or more runs.
Where they were passing the baton and putting together good innings. At bat after at bat, taking their share of walks.
They have the players now if they can get them all back in the lineup at the same time. Devin Travis still the last missing link right now. No Kevin Pillar tonight, in case you're wondering. Kevin was in the initial lineup. He was scratched with flu-like symptoms. That's what we were told. Reason he was scratched. Tulowitzki strikes out. There's been so much talk about what's wrong with the Blue Jays offense, and I think the biggest thing is just inconsistent. When you look at the most runs scored in the American League, the Blue Jays are 3rd behind the Red Sox and the Indians, and the Red Sox have a comfortable lead. Cleveland has scored a lot more runs than anybody suspected they would this season at the start of the year.
Blue Jays have had their share of home runs. That was a little surprising when you saw that, the runs that the Blue Jays have scored. Last year they blew the doors off of everybody when it came to runs, and that's what Brooke Jacoby was telling me today. When it comes to offense, he says, I look at runs and I look at RBIs, and right now the Blue Jays sit 3rd in runs. He says that's how you win ball games, by scoring runs.
That's how you keep score. And all the analytical geniuses can argue that all the runs don't matter, RBIs don't matter. That's how you keep score, folks. You knock them in and you score them. The best players lead the world in those departments. And I don't care what percentage of runs they knock in or how many times they make outs with runners in scoring position. These guys knock in runs.
And they score runs. There's only 4 teams in the American League who have scored 600 runs so far this year. The Blue Jays are one of them. Baltimore and the Indians in Boston, the other 2.
Cued off the end of the bat. That's got a little extra English on it, but Dozier is able to make the play. Andrew Albers has retired 6 straight since coming into the game. But we'll go to the 6th. Blue Jays have a 6-4 lead. Joe Biagini looks like he's coming into the game. threw 102 pitches over 5 innings. He allowed just 2 hits, a home run to Plouffe in the first, and a 2-run double to Suzuki in the fourth. But he walked 4, struck out 7. The pitch count is elevated, but he is in line for the win after he pitched 5 innings.
Now the bullpen has to hold on. They couldn't hold on the last time he was out there. He left after 6 innings in Cleveland and was in line for the win, but the Blue Jays lost that one in the 9th inning. Tonight he's in line for the win again. After his 5 innings, he leads with a 2-run lead. They will turn the ball over to Joe Biagini. Joe Biagini's been a nice surprise for the Blue Jays this year. They got him from the San Francisco Giants for $50,000 in the Rule 5 draft, and all he has done in 46 games, 4-2, 219 earned run average. And the thing that surprises me, the strikeouts and the few walks. Almost a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is outstanding for a rookie.
He had his scoreless inning streak snapped last night at 20 2/3 innings pitched, longest streak by a Blue Jay this season, and the 4th longest ever by a Blue Jay rookie pitcher. Max Kepler drives it into center field. A leadoff single. The Twins have had the leadoff man on in 3 of the last 4 innings. So Kepler gets a hit. He walked and scored his last time up. 3rd hit of the night for Minnesota. Jorge Polanco has struck out twice. Popped up over the Blue Jays dugout. That's going to be out of play. Kepler at first is 5 for 5 in steal attempts. He's a good-looking young player.
Big. Look how big he is standing next to Justin Smoke. Smokey's listed about 6'4", 225, and he's every bit of that. He can run a little bit. He's got some power.
Foul ball. Smoke. He'll go to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Josh Donaldson hit his 30th home run of the season back in the second when the Blue Jays scored 5 runs. And they have made that stand up. It is now 6-4 Jays. Eduardo Escobar. First pitch swinging, rips it into right field. Couple of hits in the inning for Minnesota.
Both of them on first pitch fastballs. Make note of that. Kepler hit the first pitch he saw for a hit, and now Escobar singles on the first pitch he sees. Can't just lay it right in there. It's a cutter that stays out over the plate. Escobar's first hit, second time that he has been on base tonight.
Escobar's a switch hitter. The Twins have the luxury of 3 switch hitters in their lineup. So he turns around and gets a knock his first time batting as a lefty in this game. Now Kurt Suzuki. He's been on base twice. He walked and scored in the 3rd and hit a 2-run double in the 4th. Pete Walker on the phone once again. The Blue Jays bullpen is moving around. Blue Jays had to use 4 relievers in last night's game. There's a strike. Joaquin Benoit, one of those 4 relievers. He threw 19 pitches in that game. John Gibbons just as soon not use those pitchers last night. They were down and lost 6-3, but they still had to use Benoit and Grillick.
Well, what he's hoping for is some more runs, a little bit more breathing room. He was talking today, he was saying that there's been a lot of close games, and he's been calling on those relievers a lot because every game has been so close. Blue Jays have played a lot of 1-2-run ball games.
Here's the 1-2. Foul back. Suzuki had a big cut. Yeah, the Blue Jays just haven't put together a big, long winning streak. Last year, they had 2 11-game win streaks. This season, the highest win streak has been 7 games.
7 games. And we were talking about that the last time we were together in Cleveland, that I asked some of the guys today, I said, you know, have you played your best baseball? And every one of them said, no, we haven't been able to get our pitching, defense, and hitting together all at one time. Where, you know, you just clobber people, and had some games where it was 7-2, where you can rest some of your better relievers and have other guys finish it out. And Gibbons, John, has done a good job of piecing these things together and making every game count.
Now, we showed you that Blue Jays are 3rd in the American League in runs scored this season, but last year they outscored everybody in baseball by 227 runs. That hit Suzuki. Caught him on the elbow, and that's going to load the bases. So Biagini has given up a couple of hits. Now he hits a batter. This inside fastball just runs inside and catches Suzuki right on the right elbow.
Oh, I just barely touched him. Tried to get that ball in to crowd him. Can't clear those elbows in time, and he is on first base. Now, bases loaded again. They have had base runners on. It seems like in every inning.
Blue Jays won 3 of 4 against Minnesota in Minneapolis back in May. Gibbons checking on the status of Benoit. It appears as though he's ready, just standing by if needed. 1 out. Eddie Rosario struck out in the 4th. Rosario is 24 years old. He is from Puerto Rico. This is his 2nd season in the big leagues with Minnesota. Curveball hit into center field. Upton comes in, and he'll go to 3rd. Tagging and coming in to score is Polanco, and it is a 1-run game. Rosario drives it to center to cash in on the sac fly.
Right. Minnesota taking advantage of the walks and the hit batter. Cashing in that run 1 at a time. They've had 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, now 1 here in the 6th.
3 of the walks that Liriano issued came around to score. And now the hit batter has contributed to this run here in the 6th. It's a 6-5 Blue Jays lead. And the dangerous Brian Dozier.
Boy, he is looking to hook the ball right here. He has got some power in that bat.
Foul on. We mentioned that Dozier is one of 2 players to record at least 15 triples, hit 100 home runs, and 50 steals through his first 5 seasons of his career, while primarily playing second base. The other is the late Hall of Famer Joe Gordon, who had a great career with the Indians and the Yankees. Joe Gordon was a terrific offensive player. Joe Gordon was my first big league manager in Kansas City. And in his first 5 seasons in the big leagues with the Yankees, he had 33 triples and 125 home runs and stole 62 bases.
Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, that'll get you in the Hall of Fame.
2-1 to Dozier. 2 outs. That evens a count of 2-2.
Since July, no one has hit more home runs in the big leagues than this guy. 17 of them. He is looking to yank the ball to left field, so that fastball away was a good pitch.
Curveball in the dirt. And Dozier is called for the swing. That'll end the inning. Martin goes to first on the strikeout. But the Twins score another run here in the top of the 6th, and they've made it a 1-run game. Rest of the season, and tomorrow night starting at 7 Eastern time, 4 Pacific time, you can check out the Royals. They're in Boston to play the Red Sox, and what a pitching matchup tomorrow night. Danny Duffy at 11-1 goes up against David Price. He's 12-8, but over his last 5 starts, he's really starting to dial it in.
Yeah, he's starting to become David Price again. Got off to a tough start for Boston. You were just ripping off some of those numbers for David Price over his last few starts. He looks like the Price we saw with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he has walked just 5 in his last 5 starts. Andrew Albers has really done a nice job of holding the Blue Jays in check. He's retired all 6 batters he's faced since coming into the game.
He's calmed things down for the Minnesota Twins.
Fly ball deep to left field. Barney has gotten into one at the track. Grossman is there. It's gone. Darwin Barney, number 4 on the season.
And just like that, the Blue Jays get that run back. That's what you have to do. You just got to keep adding on runs when you can. Darwin Barney's going to supply that 1 run with just 1 swing of the bat. Looked like a fastball that was up and in. He pulled his hands in, got that barrel through, and drops it into the bullpen for his 4th home run.
3rd homer of the night for the Blue Jays. Everybody up and down the order making a contribution. And here is Justin Smoke. He's had a 4 RBI game. A 3-run, a home run, and an RBI single.
Just keep adding on. Do what you can. Albers had come in and Retired the first 6 batters before this swing right here. High enough for Darwin, right down the line. And it looked like Grossman had a shot, but it's just out of his reach for the home run.
Well, drives this one to center. It's deep at the track. Rosario runs it down. Smoke hit it hard, but the center fielder tracked it down on the warning track in deep center field. Darwin Barney with his 4th home run of the season now has 19 RBIs. Darwin is 2 for 3 tonight.
Keep the pressure on right here. The right side of the infield is back against Carrera. You got to figure he's going to try and drop one down here.
Squares and takes a strike.
Boy, that looked like a good pitch to bunt off right there. Albers is a left-handed pitcher. He's going to fall off towards the third base side. Dozier, the second baseman, is out on the outfield turf. Just get it by him, and you can run yourself into a hit.
He's thinking the same way. If he gets it by the pitcher, Dozier is going to be hard pressed to make a play. Boof playing at first base just for the 9th time this season. He's a natural third baseman.
He's starting to shorten up now on the right side.
Ground ball to short. Polanco throws it in the dirt. Carrera is aboard. Mentioned Plouffe starting at first base for just the 9th time. Couldn't dig out that low throw, and Carrera's on base.
He hurried. He didn't secure that ball initially on the catch. It rattled around a little bit in his glove. You can see right there. So he doesn't have a very good grip on it. And wouldn't you know it, right into the dirt. Plouffe can't come up with it, and the Blue Jays will take it. Get that runner on base, and that'll probably spend the end of the night for Albers.
So Albers is out of the game, and Big Pat Light, who they acquired from Boston in the Ahmad trade, will come in to face Bautista. Pitcher is the big right-hander, Pat Light. He has got a big, strong arm. He was acquired in a trade with Boston on August 1st in exchange for the left-hander Fernando Abad.
He's a former #1 pick from the Boston Red Sox back in 2012 from Monmouth, so you know he's got some good stuff. Good fastball. He has been known to hit triple digits with that fastball. Lively, heavy sinker, and he's got a split, which is a swing and miss type of pitch. Paul Molitor brought him in this situation to face these tough right-handers, and with that heavy sinking fastball, he's looking to get the ball on the ground.
Light made 2 appearances this season for the Boston Red Sox. He was charged with 7 earned runs. Bautista at the plate. Darwin Barney hit his first home run since June 5th. His 4th of the season. That ball gets away from Plouffe, but no chance to advance for Carrera.
Told you got a heavy sinker. He just threw a sinker over to first base, and Trevor Plouffe is going to go over there and talk to him and say, hey, man, bring that ball up. That is nasty stuff.
This is the 3rd appearance for Light since joining the Twins. He's allowed just 1 hit in 2 innings in 2 appearances. Well, that's a nasty breaking ball.
You can see why he was a #1 pick of the Red Sox.
He's 6'5". See him gripping that split grip in his hand. Bautista went around. Light is from Colts Neck, New Jersey. Went to Christian Brothers Academy and eventually went to Monmouth University. Pitched there and was drafted by the Red Sox. He was drafted out of high school by the Twins.
That one got away from him. That wasn't a fastball. Looks like the Twins might have got the better of that deal. They gave up Fernando Abad, who's a major leaguer, and he's a lefty, yes. But they got a young guy who throws hard. They could start him if they want to, or just leave him in the bullpen and let him develop.
Bautista turns on that inside pitch and pulls it foul. Well, I know Monmouth University. That's where my wife went to college. And it's always had a pretty decent baseball program. Ed Halicki, who pitched with the Giants, also pitched at Monmouth.
You might see that split right here with 2 strikes. There it is.
Swing and a miss. Here's the throw to second. It's into center field, and Carrera is on his way to center. Here's the throw, not in time. It'll be a stolen base and an air charge to Suzuki, the catcher, as Carrera picks up the steal, his 6th of the season.
Error number 4 for Suzuki on the season. That's when you want to go right there with 2 strikes. Try to create something. They picked on the right pitch, a splitter. No chance to get Carrera. Rosario's got a good arm. I didn't think he had a shot. He threw a strike over to third base as Carrera picks himself up and heads over to third base. Now that split in the dirt, he might be able to score.
Second error of the inning. And Carrera's now at third for Josh Donaldson. Home run in the second. Darwin Barney giving Elvin Upton Jr. an idea of what he hit out of the ballpark. Got that inside pitch and drew his hands in and hit the homer. (7-5) Blue Jays. Bottom of the 6th inning. First of 3 against Minnesota. Big weekend of baseball for the Blue Jays before they head out on the road. They'll start in Baltimore. 3-0. Encarnacion waits on deck. Donaldson takes the ball.
Get a hit of color during Canada's Color Expert Sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Beautiful evening, and the Blue Jays enjoying a 2-run lead. Runners at the corners for Edwin Encarnacion. He's over 3 tonight. got a 5-game hit streak. Suzuki will visit with light here. He came into the game, struck out Bautista, the first batter he faced, and then walked Donaldson. Donaldson homered and scored. Obviously, that was his 100th run scored this season. Mookie Betts tonight is 3 for 3, but he's not scored a run. So Donaldson leads the American League momentarily with 100 runs scored. Wow. So how do you measure good players?
How many runs you score, how many you knock in, and how many you score.
It's away, and Suzuki made a nice grab of that.
In trouble getting that split over right now. Threw a good one to Bautista to strike out Jose. He hasn't been able to control it since. Well, they're going to challenge him with a fastball away right here.
Here's the 2-0. Nice scoop by Suzuki. 3-0 now to Encarnacion, and you can bet he's got the green light. Martin waits on deck. Blue Jays have scored a run here on Darwin Barney's leadoff home run. Neil Allen, the pitching coach, checking in with the bullpen.
You know, the beauty of swinging 3-0 is you can pick on a certain pitch and pick on a certain location, and if it's not there, just take it.
Borderline strike. You were right. He was looking for something inner half.
So just take it. The last thing you want to do is swing at something that you weren't expecting.
Ball 4. That'll load the bases for Russell Martin. Michael Tonkin, big tall right-hander, starting to loosen up quickly. This has been a problem for Minnesota. Eddie Guardado is the bullpen coach. He was a terrific relief pitcher for the Twins in their heyday. And he and Paul Molitor just realized they don't have much experience down in their bullpen.
They've got some good arms, and they've got some young kids they can build around. You can see Tonkin trying to get loose quickly. He just got up, so he's not going to be able to face Russell Martin. But you're right, they've got some good arms, but they lack experience. And the best thing you can do, I think, with young guys is just make them work their way through it. Learn.
Well, the Blue Jays have scored a run here in the inning. Pereira reached on an error, stole a base, and went to third on the throwing error. Donaldson walked, same for Encarnacion. Bases loaded for Russell Martin.
Russell is hitting over 500 this year on the first pitch.
He was all geared up for that first pitch, but it's off the plate inside. Russell's 0 for 3.
Normally, I'd say go ahead and swing. He's having trouble finding the plate. Don't help him out. Russell is the best in the lineup that the Blue Jays have tonight. They're really working the count. I mean, he'll see his share of pitches per plate appearance.
Russell had a bases loaded walk on Tuesday night in the first game of the Angels series. Now it's 3-0.
Take 2 if you have to.
Blue Jays have had a couple of long innings tonight. 8 men went to the plate in the second, and they scored 5. Three and 1. Smoke hit a 3-1 fastball for a home run back in the second. Russell drives this one to the alley. That's going to get down and clear the bases. One runs in. Here comes the second one. Encarnacion's around third. He's going to score. A 3-run double for Martin.
Oh, that's just what the doctor ordered right there. It would have been a shame if the Blue Jays come away with just 1 run in this inning after loading the bases. and 2 outs. Take advantage of the wildness. A couple of walks with 2 outs. But a 3-1 fastball, that's what you do. Keyhole him. Fastball down the middle, and Russell's been swinging a hot bat from foul line to foul line. He's been hitting everything. This time he splits the outfield for 3 runs.
Russell Martin's up to 57 RBIs. Troy Tulowitzki takes the first pitch strike. Tulo had a single his first time up. With that 3-run double, Martin has now driven in 18 runs in 20 games this month.
Locked in. He is locked in. And he's at his best when he's gap to gap, staying in the middle of the field.
Ten runs on 10 hits for the Blue Jays, 5 runs on 4 hits for the Twins. Three and 1 now to Tulowitzki. Upton is on deck. Melvin Upton Jr. has 2 hits and scored a pair of runs tonight. Off the glove, ball 4, and Martin will go to third as Tulowitzki walks. It's the 3rd walk of the inning, and Paul Molitor is out of the dugout. He's going to have to make a pitching change here. So Pat Light, control problems in this inning. 3 walks in the inning, and Russell Martin hit a 3-run double. Michael Tonkin, the big right-hander, coming out of the Twins bullpen when we come back. Melvin Upton Jr. getting an update on the Twins righty. Paul Molitor and the Minnesota Twins, they have lost their last 7 games. 0-7. The ERA closing in on 7 runs per game. They are hitting under 200, and look at how much they've been outscored by, 50-18, and they've been out-homered as well, and they have continued their bad stretch. The Tigers beat Minnesota Thursday afternoon. Now Detroit has beat the Twins 8 straight games in Minnesota. So things have really gone sour for the Twins. This is Michael Tonkin.
Back to the bullpen. Third reliever of the inning for Minnesota. We saw Albers, Light, and now Tonkin, the big right-hander. He's 6'7".
The Twins bullpen, they've used 19 different relief pitchers this season. They have the 3rd highest earned run average in the American League.
And when you have a tough starting rotation and a bullpen like you just said, you're going to get a lot of chances, and Michael Tonkin's got a lot of chances. He's tied for 3rd in the American League in relief innings pitched already this year.
Upton with a mighty swing and a miss. Melvin Upton is 2 for 3 with a pair of runs scored. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Blue Jays have scored 4 runs this inning. They had a 5-run inning in the second. Way outside. Nice play by Suzuki.
Well, he just saved the run right there. Had to reach behind him to catch that ball. Tonkin reaching back for a little something extra, wants to strike out. A look at Kurt Suzuki. Gets spun around after he makes that catch.
Outside. It's a full count to Upton. Martin's at 3rd. He'll stay put. Over at first, Tulowitzki will be off on the pitch. Darwin Barney got it started. He's on deck. He had a home run to start this inning. Ground ball to short. Big hop for Polanco. The inning is over, but another big inning for the Blue Jays. A 4-run inning here in the 6th, and it was all started by Darwin Barney. Barney hits his 4th home run of the season to start a 4-run 6th inning. Martin capped it off with the double.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. A lot has changed in 40 years, but one thing hasn't. Honda, proud fan since 1977. Official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, the Blue Jays, 10 runs on 10 hits. They have a 5-run lead over Minnesota. So we head to the 7th, and new pitcher in for the Blue Jays, Joaquin Benoit, making his 39th appearance of the season.
Joaquin pitched in last night's ball game, an inning in the 3rd, 3 hits, but he didn't give up an earned run. That's 12 in the 3rd straight innings without allowing an earned run. Coming out of the bullpen, he has become very valuable. He's become the guy who has taken over in the 7th inning for the Blue Jays. As a veteran reliever, he might not throw as hard as he used to, but he's got some stuff and he can use it. Good fastball, good split.
John Gibbons and Pete Walker have leaned on him heavily. You mentioned he pitched in last night's game, and they would have loved to not use him. He hadn't pitched since Saturday in Cleveland, but last night in the game, Benoit pitched an inning and a third. He threw 21 pitches. Grilli also pitched in that game last night, and Grilli threw 16 pitches. Benoit actually threw 19 pitches in his outing.
So you give him an inning here, and if it stays a 5-run game, maybe no Grilli, maybe no Osuna, give them a day off. Quick turnaround tomorrow for the Blue Jays.
Grilli pitched an inning, being able just a walk and had a strikeout. 16 pitches for Grilli. In case you're just joining us, the Blue Jays announced right at the start of this game that they had reacquired catcher Deanna Navarro from the Chicago White Sox in a deal that sent a Double-A reliever to Chicago. And Ross Atkins on our show tonight discussed the value of getting another catcher and the fact that Navarro had so much success here, but he's pretty excited about his coming back. Grossman hits it past Barney into right.
Ross Atkins done a good job of acquiring veterans from other teams that are out of it, that have fit right in for the Blue Jays. Joaquin Benoit, they got them from Seattle. Jason Grilli from Atlanta. And now Navarro from Chicago. Melvin Upton, they got them from San Diego. San Diego isn't going anywhere.
Well, it's a new front office, and they've been very effective, and they have worked very well with the manager and the coaching staff as far as identifying needs and going out and addressing those needs.
Finding the right guy who's going to fit in.
Ground ball to third. Donaldson to Barney at second. Back to first. Double play. Benoit gets the double play to erase that leadoff single. First double play of the ball game.
Right around the horn. This is tailor-made. Josh Donaldson going to his left. His momentum takes him right into the bag. Has a good feed to Darwin Barney, and Joaquin Benoit appreciates that. Blue Jays turn their 122nd double play of the season.
Miguel Sano batting with 2 outs and nobody on. Bounced in the dirt, and that may have caught Russell Martin on the arm. Tried to block it. Pounding his glove to indicate to Benoit, I'm okay. Keep coming at me.
Can't hurt him, right? Made a steal. Tried to backhand it. Right on the wrist.
Russell does a great job of receiving that low strike.
Yeah, he's one of the best that I've seen this season at holding that low strike up and holding it there for the umpire.
And it was interesting. Russell called for a fastball. Benoit kind of looked it off. Russell said, throw me the fastball and throw it upstairs. And of asserting his judgment, saying, yeah, I want the fastball now, but Benoit missed upstairs. Got that pitch in a good spot down and away to Sano. Bautista near the foul line makes the catch. Benoit with a very efficient inning. Gives up a single, gets a double play and a fly ball. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays with a 5-run lead.
Jays Baseball Academy, in collaboration with Baseball Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar, will host the 4th annual Tournament 12. It goes from September 14th through 19th at Rogers Center. T12 features the best amateur baseball players from across Canada. Come see the future of Canadian baseball. Visit bluejays.com/T12. Guys, we've seen guys like Dalton Pompey and Tristan Pompey play in this tournament. You get to see a lot of guys that will eventually, if not already, make it to the big leagues.
Well, there have been so many great Canadians over the years that have made their way to the big leagues. Robbie Alomar is doing his part to raise the awareness of baseball across Canada.
Okay, who was the first-round draft pick of the Marlins last year? Big first baseman. He just got traded. He played in here just Josh Naylor a couple of years ago.
Yep. He did get traded, yeah. He was involved in a big trade here not too long ago.
He was in that just a few, last year? The year before? The year before. So you're right. Canadian youth baseball, it's coming. And Robbie has been very good for them with that T12 tournament.
Darwin Barney making a bid for another hit. That's going to get down and go past Rosario all the way to the wall. Barney is headed around second. He'll stop there with his 3rd hit of the night. Barney is 3 for 4. Now time for the drive of the game. It's brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
Blue Jays needed a big hit. Justin Smoke needed a big hit, and with a couple of runners on base in the 2nd inning, he's going to launch his 14th home run. High and deep into the night for the Blue Jays, gave them 3 quick runs, the first 3 runs of the ball game for the Blue Jays. Justin Smoke with tonight's drive of the game with that long one. He would also add a RBI single later on, and here he is again with another runner in scoring position. Chance to top off his night.
Season high 4 RBIs for Smoke. He swings and drives it into center. That's going to get down. Rosario makes a play. Here comes Barney around third. He's going to score. A 5-ribby night for Smoke.
No need to wait around if you got runners in scoring position. He snapped a long offer with runners in scoring position. Tonight he's 3 for 3 with those guys out there. Fastball, and watch how the center fielder's got to wait back on this ball, and that's going to allow Barney to score. He's got to wait back. He's got a good arm, but this one is way offline. Big hop. He sees the runner trying to take off, and about halfway up the line, not even close. Smokey's got 5 ribbies.
Herrera goes after the first pitch. The season high for ribbies in a game. Michael Saunders had a 3-home run, 8 RBI game against Baltimore. Edwin Encarnacion, he drove in 6 against the Rangers back on the 5th of May, but Smoke has a 5 RBI game, a season high. Darwin Barney scores another run, his 3rd hit, a leadoff double this inning. Blue Jays needed one of these.
Yes. Confidence builders. Chance to everybody just to exhale just a little bit.
Louis Rivera did a terrific job of waving home Darwin Barney. He saw that Rosario was going to get a high bounce off the little blooper in center, and he sent Barney home to get that extra RBI for Smoke.
Have a night. Darwin originally was batting 9th in the original lineup tonight, but then when Kevin Pillar had to scratch, he was moved up to 7th, and he's had 3 hits, scored 2 runs. He needs a triple for the cycle.
Yes, he does. Carrera strikes out. That's the first out of the inning, and that'll turn the lineup over. Jose Bautista is 1 for 3 with a walk. He scored a run. Bautista drills it down the left field line. It's up against the wall. Smoke is headed for third. Bautista will go into second, standing up. Bautista's second hit of the night, his 20th double of the season.
Boy, that's what you like to see from Jose Bautista. Go down there and get that fastball and turn it around. He's now up to 20 doubles on the season. Low fastball, and he just pulls it into the corner in left field. Looked like Grossman had a shot at getting Jose at second base. So did Polanco, but he turned after he caught the relay and just held the ball. That allowed Jose to jog into second base, and now the infield has to come in.
Justin Smoke ends up at third. He's had a 5 RBI game, his second game with 5 ribbies. His career high is 6. That came back in 2012 against the Texas Rangers while playing for Seattle. A lot of big nights offensively, and some guys that really needed it, including Justin Smoke, who's had a 3-hit game and a 5 RBI game. Darwin Barney, a triple shy of the cycle. The Blue Jays haven't had a cycle hit since 2001.
Now, can they get back down to him? They're guaranteed to hit one more time in the 8th inning. Can they get back down there so he can have that shot at a triple?
Ball in the dirt. Smoke with 5 RBIs tonight. He had 5 ribbies in his previous 32 games. So this is a welcome night for Justin Smoke. One and 2 to Donaldson. Base hit to left. Smoke comes in to score. Bautista will stop at third. Donaldson's 3rd RBI of the night. That'll get him 85 for the season.
Some pretty good at-bats tonight by the Blue Jays. Just over swinging on everything. Paul Molitor's going to come out one more time. This base hit by Donaldson shortens up, picks up another RBI. Smoke scores another run. The Blue Jays have 12, and Molly's got to go back to his bullpen.
Brian O'Rourke, the lefty, will come out of the bullpen. Another reliever coming on. Tonkin is out. O'Rourke comes in. He'll face Edwin Encarnacion with 2 aboard. Into the ball game. He was originally drafted in the 13th round. He had his contract purchased on the 13th of August from AAA. He appeared in 33 games for Rochester this season. 1-1 with the save.
He was drafted in 2010, like you said, Buck, in the 13th round from Merrimack College in Massachusetts, the first player drafted out of Division II Merrimack. And He gets to face Edwin Encarnacion with a couple of runners on.
Yeah, welcome to the game. First and third, and Edwin at the plate. Encarnacion walked and scored in the 6th. He's still looking for a hit. He's got a 5-game hit streak that's on the line. Two and 0. Now it's 3-0. And we had mentioned that the Minnesota bullpen, third highest ERA in the American League. The opponent's batting average coming in this game, 272. That's the second highest among major league teams. Encarnacion getting the green light. Ground ball to short. Second for one. Back to first. Not in time. Encarnacion gets an RBI. 102 driven in for Encarnacion. Bautista comes in to score for the second time tonight.
Those are the ones where you want to hustle down there and get yourself an RBI. If it's double play, you get nothing. Blue Jays have hit the 13 mark tonight. Edwin with the RBI.
Russell Martin now with 2 outs inside for a ball. Russell had a bases clearing triple in the 6th. Bases clearing double. He drove in 3 runs, his 15th double of the season.
Early in the season, Blue Jays were not hitting. They weren't scoring runs. And John Givens kept telling everybody, hey, don't worry. These guys have done it before. When it's all said and done, their numbers are probably going to be there.
Russell drills this one deep to left and gone.
And my point was, Russell Martin's numbers are going to be there by the end of the season. That is home run number 15 for Martin. We've now got 59 RBIs.
What a month he has put together in the month of August. And another happy Blue Jays fan out in the seats in left field. Russell, a 5 RBI night, 15-5.
Boy, he's in good hitters counts. Here's a 2-0 fastball right there. A lot like his swing on his 3-run double. Ooh, he says, yeah.
Home run number 15 for Martin. 4 home runs for the Blue Jays tonight. Tulowitzki walks.
When you're hot, everything looks good. And right now, Russell is hot. His last 2 at-bats has produced 5 RBIs. 2 swings, 5 ribbies. The Blue Jays have another bat-around inning. That's 2 innings in a row.
Well, the Twins were concerned about their bullpen coming in. They have used 19 different relievers this season, and it's been kind of a shuttle back and forth between AAA and the big leagues. Melvin Upton Jr. 2 for 4. Very difficult for a team in the first game of a series to go this deep into your bullpen.
Yeah, they fortified that bullpen before this series by calling up a couple of new arms. So they got 9 relievers now for this series.
The veteran Irvin Santana is the starter tomorrow afternoon. He match up against Marcus Stroman, and Molitor and Allen trying to figure out how they can conserve some innings down in that bullpen. Darwin Marney will get a chance to hit, needing a triple for the cycle. Ground ball to third. Escobar across the diamond in time. The inning is over. For second time tonight, the Blue Jays have scored 5 runs in an inning. Russell Martin with a 2-run home run. He's driven in 5 tonight. Aaron Luke coming into the game. Aaron Luke comes in for the 12th time this season. He'll start the top of the 8th inning. Luke, an opportunity to have a good inning, get some confidence going, get him headed back in the right direction.
Get some work. He is just called up 5 days ago. Marco taking over the manager's position.
Sliding into the skipper spot, saying I can manage 15-5. Max Kepler, the right fielder. Kepler is 1 for 2 with a walk. He singled against Joe Biagini to start the 6th.
Talked to Loopy in Cleveland, and I asked him, he went down to Buffalo and pitched much better. He said, my slider's been better. Been able to get it over early in the count, late in the count, whenever I need to. After that last swing by Kepler on that slider, this would be a good time to throw it again.
Kepler hits a 2-hopper to the second baseman. One away, top of the 8th. Well, the Blue Jays, you never know when things are going to break loose. Kevin Pillar was scratched from this game right before the start of the game. Devin Travis still unable to play. Michael Saunders got a hamstring. He can't play. So there was a lot of adjustment, a lot of scrambling right before the start of the game. And John Gibbons seen his team put up 15 runs on 15 hits. You never know.
Well, that makes things a lot easier, doesn't it? When your offense covers up some problems that you might have. Blue Jays did it so many times last year that they out-hit the opposition. So when there was some players who needed some time off, there was a base hit. or some pitchers who needed some time off, some rest in that bullpen. The offense scored enough runs that helped them out. That's what they have done tonight.
Yeah, you have to have some easy games, and John Gibbons had talked about that. There have been so many tight ball games. He's had to use the bullpen a lot lately. So with one out, Eduardo Escobar steps in. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. One and one now. You mentioned Russell Martin with 5 RBIs. He's now driven in 20 runs in the month of August. That'll put him on the leaderboard page. Nolan Arenado of the Colorado Rockies has driven in 29. Ryan Braun of the Brewers 28. Then it jumps down to Brad Miller. Miller's driven in 24 runs for Tampa Bay.
Wow. I got to put Russell in the Player of the Month category in the American League then. How he has caught. He's caught some pretty good games this month, and then his hitting has been outstanding.
Yeah, he came into this game with a .296 average. Bounced foul.
He'll get some votes then for the Player of the Month in the American League.
He's doubled and homered tonight. 15 doubles, 15 home runs. That's his 8th home run he's hit in the month of August. Brian Dozier, as you mentioned, has 11 home runs this month. Gary Sanchez has 9. With the home run tonight, Russell Martin is tied Chris Davis, Brad Miller, and Mark Trumbull with 8. And so he's right up there with the big boys.
It'll come down to him and Brian Dozier. What do you think?
There's a base hit to right. Bautista's hurrying over, trying to cut it off. He makes the play, but Escobar is going to end up with a double. It is 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Or Escobar, his 2nd hit of the night.
And just could not finish off Escobar. He's got a good breaking ball. I thought he might try and finish him off with a breaking ball there, but this time it's on the inside part of the plate. Slices it to right field. 2nd and 3rd now, and just 1 out.
Kurt Suzuki had a 2-run double in the 4th. That double made it a 6-4 game at the time. He flies this one deep to right. Tagging at 3rd is Polanco, and the throw will go to 3rd base. Polanco comes in. Suzuki with the sac fly. Drives in the 6th Twins run of the game.
That's their 3rd sacrifice fly tonight. One by Bloof, one by Rosario, and now one by the catcher, Suzuki.
But now 2 outs. Eddie Rosario, the center fielder, reached on an error in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th, and had the sac fly in the 6th.
Heads up.
Alex Wimmers, his first day in the big leagues. He is loosening up. Looks like he's going to make his major league debut. You know all about Alex Wimmers.
Known him for a long time.
That's going to go into center field as Rosario drives in a run. Little flare into center. Chases home Escobar. So Luke has been charged with a couple of runs here in the 8th.
It's tough on lefties, but he gets underneath that one. It's another fastball right down the middle. And Rosario fights it off just out of the reach, and you can see how disgusted Aaron is. Feels like he made a good pitch. Rosario punches it into center field for another hit.
Francisco Liriano was the starter. He went 5 innings and allowed 4 runs, 3 earned runs on just 2 hits. Walks were a problem for Liriano. That elevated his pitch count. He was out after 5. Biagini went an inning. This is pulled to Donaldson. He bobbles it, stays with it, fires across the diamond in time. The inning is over. Twins score 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 15-7 Blue Jays. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Interested in helping the Jays Care Foundation go beyond the ballpark in 2016? Well, you can join the Jays Care Foundation Young Professionals roster. For more information, visit jayscare.com. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Let's get you back to Buck and Pat.
Thank you, Mary. Crowd having a good time tonight. Another big crowd here at Rogers Center, 42,534. And they're going to see a Major League debut.
This is Alex Wimmers. He is from Cincinnati, Ohio. He went to Archbishop Moeller High School in Cincinnati. He was a #1 pick after he went to Ohio State University. There are his numbers in 39 games, 2 with 362 in AAA. Known him a long time. He went to school with my son Troy at Moeller. And I got a chance to watch him, and here he is in the big leagues. So congratulations to him. If you're watching back in Cincinnati, the family, you got a chance to watch Alex for the first time on a big league stage.
First pitch in the big leagues is a strike to Darwin Barney. Barney is looking for a triple to hit for the cycle. Barney singled his second time up in the 3rd, hit a leadoff home run in the 6th, hit an RBI double in the 7th. Hot shot gloved by Polanco, and Barney hits it hard again. This time he's thrown out by the shortstop.
Wow, what a hit. Wimmers is the 13th player from Moeller High School to make it to the big leagues. That's the same high school that Buddy Bell came from. Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Larkin, Lenny Matusik, who played for the Blue Jays.
It's a great athletic high school. They've always been known for their great football teams, basketball and baseball. Free sports school.
Everything. Hockey, wrestling.
And your son goes to school there now.
And my last one of the twins goes to Moeller. Alex was a #1 pick, went to Ohio State. He actually pitched a perfect game at Moeller. The first pitcher to do that at that great high school.
This is Justin Smoke, and he started the offensive barrage tonight with a 3-run home run in the second. He keyed the first of 2 5-run innings. 2-1 now to Smoke. Smoke with 5 RBIs tonight. He's had a 3-hit game.
Well, it's good to see Smokey contributing, having good at bats. 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight.
A good cut of that pitch. Josh Toller looks like he's going to come in and give Russell Martin that half inning off. Oh, he's got the gear on, ready to come into this game. Smoke is called out on strikes. First big league strikeout for Alex Wimmers. Well, there's more baseball on the network on Sportsnet 360. The Cubs are in LA to take on the Dodgers. Of course, the Cubs far and away the best team in baseball right now, 81-45. LA has recaptured the lead in the National League West. They have a 2-game lead over the Giants at 71-56. So that's on right now on Sportsnet 360.
What a job that the Dodgers have done this year with all of the injuries. I think at one time 4 of their 5 starters have been on the disabled list.
Well, it's really interesting. When Clayton Kershaw got hurt, everybody kind of figured the Dodgers would pack their bags and wait for next year. He got hurt in June. He hasn't pitched since, but the Dodgers have hung in there. Their offense has carried them. Justin Turner's having a big season. Rookie of the Year candidate. Corey Seager, the shortstop. Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez hit 3 home runs the other day.
They're going to get Andre Ethier back real soon. He just went out on a rehab assignment. He's been out all year with a broken leg.
Yeah, and they just made a trade for a catcher.
They got Carlos Ruiz. They got Carlos Ruiz from the Phillies. A.J. Ellis, and seemed like it created a little bit of an uproar out there in the clubhouse for the Dodgers. A.J. Ellis, a backup catcher, the personal catcher for Clayton Kershaw, but he wasn't hitting very much. And Carlos Ruiz, a very good offensive player.
And he's got great numbers in the postseason. That's a different animal, isn't it, in the postseason?
Yeah. And
got to have the right guys.
See Manny Gonzalez, home plate umpire. He got some gravel in his eyes after that last foul ball in the dirt. 2-2 to Carrera. Alex Wimmers making his major league debut. He's retired the first 2 he's faced here in the 8th. Couple of strikeouts, a perfect inning in his first inning in the big leagues for Alex Wimmers. We'll go to the 9th. It's all Blue Jays. Famer manager speaking to Alex Wimmers, who just made his first appearance in the big leagues. He retired to side in order with a couple of strikeouts, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall and listen to that conversation.
Probably, hey, you've done a great job. Congratulations on your first big league strikeout, your first big league inning.
Josh Thole takes over behind the plate for Russell Martin. This is Robbie Grossman, number 2 hitter in the lineup. Grossman is 1 for 3 with a walk. He singled against Benoit in the 7th. He has another hit. This one down the right field line. Bautista is going to watch it go all the way to the wall. Grossman is headed to second. Double number 16 on the season for Robbie Grossman.
Blue Jays couldn't get him out when they played him in May back at the Target Center. They can't get him out again tonight. That's the 3rd time that he's been on base for the Twins tonight.
Roberto Osuna hasn't pitched in a while, and I'm sure they would just as soon not use him tonight. But he's going to start to throw. 15-7. Trevor Plouffe got off to a fast start. He homered and hit a sac fly in his first 2 at bats tonight. He has since struck out and grounded into a double play. Two 2-0 to Plouffe. Three and 1 now. Aaron Loup in his 2nd inning of relief. Francisco Liriano is the pitcher of record. He's in line for the win. Biagini, Benoit, and now Loup for the Blue Jays. Plouffe takes ball 4. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ben Ennis and Eric Thomas. Thank you very much, fellas. That's all coming up right after this game. And the Yankees, boy, they hammered the Orioles 14-4 in that game. Gary Sanchez.
Not again.
What a story he has been. Sanchez went 3 for 5, drove in 4 runs. He homered his 10th. He's on 5.
Yeah. 10th this month, isn't it?
Yep. They put up 14 runs on 18 hits. Sanchez, he's batting 3rd in the lineup right now.
That didn't take long for Joe Girardi to move him up.
2 on, nobody out. This is Miguel Sano. Sano has gone 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Lifts this one in the air down the right side. It's headed for the seats and it will be out of play. Gallardo, Worley, and Mike Wright for the Orioles gave up 14 runs on 18 hits. The Blue Jays will go into Baltimore starting Monday.
Yep. First things first, take care of business here this weekend. Boston's also losing tonight, Kansas City.
Great pitching matchup tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow night in Fenway Park. David Price to the mound for the Red Sox against Danny Duffy for Kansas City. Kansas City has won 10 of their last 11. They are 6.5 games back in the AL Central. They're in 3rd place. They're 2 games behind Detroit, 6.5 behind Cleveland.
Their bullpen's been the key, right? 38 consecutive scoreless innings.
Their bullpen has been ridiculous. And they still don't have Wade Davis back.
Yeah.
Detroit beat the Angels 4-2 tonight in Comerica.
Verlander, right? Didn't he win that game?
Sano hits it on the ground. Donaldson at 3rd. Second for 1. Barney to first. Not in time. They get Kloof on the force at 2nd. Grossman goes to 3rd. Runners at the corners. Max Kepler, the right fielder. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Still just 1 out. Two and 0. We'll be right back at Rogers Center tomorrow afternoon. Urban Santana will match up against Marcus Stroman, the middle game of this 3-game series. The Sunday matchup features Kyle Gibson at 5 and 8 against R.A. Dickey 9 and 13.
Tomorrow's game, that's going to be a good pitching matchup. Santana's put up some decent numbers, an ERA of 3.39. He's won 6 games for him. And Marcus, he's been on a nice little roll too.
Fouled off. It's now a full count to Kepler. Santana has made 18 starts against the Blue Jays. He's 6 and 7 for his career against the Jays. 3-2 to Kepler. On the ground, foul.
He pitched really well against the Blue Jays the last time they faced them, the Twins, back in May. And here's a hard luck loser in that game. I think he gave a home run to Encarnacion in that ball game.
He went 8 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. That was it. This is a fly ball to left. Grossman tagging at 3rd, and he's going to head to home. The throw is cut off. Kepler ends up with a RBI on the sac fly.
That's 4 sac flies now tonight for Minnesota.
So Kepler drives in a run. That's his 56th RBI. The Twins down to their final out. 2 outs here in the 9th. Jorge Polanco. Shortstop. Batting .297. Fouls it out of play.
Good to see the offense kick it into gear tonight. Just what the Blue Jays needed.
It's only the 2nd time since July 20th that the Blue Jays have scored double-digit runs. For an offense that outscored baseball 227 runs last year, the offense has been inconsistent, and Justin Smoak's had a big night.
Those kind of games are these are the type of games that can kickstart an offense. Carry that through to tomorrow's ball game.
1-2. That's the ball game. Luke gets the strikeout to close out the Twins in the ninth. The Blue Jays 15-8 in game one of this three-game series.
And with the offense leading the way today, Jose Bautista, Russell Martin with a big day, Darwin Barney, Justin Smoke, and you're hoping that that carries on to tomorrow afternoon's ball game. The offense keep it rolling and then get hot, stay hot for a couple of weeks.
Darwin Barney and Justin Smoke with big offensive nights. The Blue Jays in the laugher, 15-8. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central. Ben and Eric, take it away.